Hello, my name is Jack Walsh. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Crash Course World History. Today we will be discussing the topic of democratization in Mexico. Mexico has faced a great amount of trouble when it comes to electing specific political parties, especially within the past couple of decades. Let's go to the thought bubble. To learn about Mexico's political troubles, one has to learn and understand the corruption and deceitfulness of the Institutional Revolutionary Party. The Institutional Party was the main political organization in Mexico for about 71 years. The Institutional Revolutionary Party was founded in 1929 by Calles, who originally named the organization the National Revolutionary Party. Plutarco Elias Calles was the 40th president of Mexico and a great military general. However, in 1934, Lázaro Cárdenas became the 44th president of Mexico, and a struggle for political power between Calles and Cárdenas began to take place. Calles represented the revolutionary side of the coalition, whereas Cárdenas represented the radical side of the coalition. Cárdenas reunited the labor and peasant organizations that were split up by Calles to gain power in the war against Calles. He set up the Party of the Mexican Revolution and gained 4.3 million members in just 1 year. Then, in 1946, President Manuel Avila Camacho was elected and took away Cárdenas' work and then renamed the party the PRI. In the early stages of the party, it served as means of organization and was used for containing the political competition among leaders of many other revolutionary caucuses. The party was made up of political bosses and military leaders, grouped with labor unions and peasant organizations. After the name change in 1946, the National Revolutionary Party changed to the Institutional Revolutionary Party, or the PRI. The people with power in the PRI, like political bosses, have used forms of corruption for free public services, theft of public memory, or the manipulation of public sector enterprises. The upper class in Mexico felt they could take advantage of the lower peasant class, which is not only economically wrong, but morally wrong. The PRI took steps to keeping themselves the only prevalent power in Mexico, and in 1968 massacred pro-democratic students protesting. I know. Seriously, what? The PRI made it almost impossible for anyone else to have power or even stand up against them. Corruption scandals set up by the PRI reached levels out of control in the 1970s, when petroleum revenues skyrocketed because of the rise of oil prices. Actually, it is later discovered that almost anything the PRI did was a scandal. Most of Mexico's wealth was produced by the sale of oil and petroleum, and a new great influx of wealth was spent on useless projects and increased payrolls of oil and PRI workers instead of trying to invest the money into something useful. During the financial crisis in the early 1980s, the PRI lost a lot of public support because people started to blame them for the waste of so much money that should have been used for creating new economic systems. In the 1988 election, the PRI almost saw the 50-year dominance come to an end when the political system in Mexico voted against the PRI. However, they still won. They claimed this was a computer crash, but what really happened was they rigged the voting. Cuauhtémoc Cárdenas, son of President Cárdenas, was almost the person that put the PRI to shame. He, like his father, was well liked and respected throughout Mexico. And even with the computer crash, he and the PAN party almost came to power in 1988. They finished with only 50.7 votes, a 20.90% decrease from just 6 years earlier. Let's see what's in the secret compartment. Technical difficulties. In 1980, when the election came, the PRI stated that there were technical difficulties, and that's why they won the election. However, it was because they rigged the supposed election where Cuauhtémoc Cárdenas should have won. On July 2nd, 2000, the Institutional Revolutionary Party's 71-year reign in Mexico ended when Vicente Fox was elected the new president of the country. Vicente Fox was the 55th president of Mexico and a great businessman. He and many others had grown up under harsh leaders chosen by the PRI to lead Mexico's people, and he knew the people needed a say. The PRI still has a negative impact in Mexico because the huge amount of corruption they have created and made the process of developing a democracy very difficult. The presidential election in 2000 was the first election in almost 70 years that wasn't tampered with by the PRI. Vicente Fox was chosen by the people to lead them, and since then, a member of the PAN Party has been in his position keeping democratic systems in place. The PAN Party stands for the National Action Party, and it is a place that has been around since 1939 but never held power until 2000, 15 years ago. The road to democracy in Mexico has been a rocky one, but the people have seen a great improvement in government affairs and everyday life compared to the PRI. Parts of government, like the Supreme Court, will finally have a say in the government, unlike they did before. Under the Institutional Revolutionary Party, important parts of the governments were not allowed to have a say. Under democracy, Mexico has improved human rights, reforms of pensions, lower taxes, and a new judicial system that was put in place. Seems like everything is under control under democracy, correct? No. Although the citizens of Mexico are ecstatic democracy has finally come to Mexico, they are still fighting one of the toughest wars in the world, the war on drugs. Many of the world's drug traffickers and drug lords are posing threats to innocent people and giving Mexico a bad reputation. The next battle for Mexico and its people is to rid these drug cartels from Mexico, and they are hoping that the democratic government finds the right way to do so. On December 1st, 2012, Enrique Peña Nieto was elected the 57th president of Mexico. Unfortunately, Nieto is a member of the Institutional Revolutionary Party. The great reign of the PAN Party only lasted about 12 years, but Mexican officials report that his views, although based on PRI systems, are on the very edge of it, and he provides youth and a fresh mind to the Mexican government. So far, he has kept turmoil between the parties very low, but we will see how he does in the remaining time of power. Thank you.